And there they are. Pretty small herd we got here. Welcome back, hunters, to another video. Today I want to take a little bit of a deeper look into herd management on Ranger. One of the most challenging modes we have here. One of the key things I want to point out is that you're going to have to really do a lot of tracking on your own. And one of the methods I use here is that the first thing I want to do is identify the herd. See how big the herd is. So we got what? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can see at least 1, 2, 3, at least 4 males. There's probably other males here, but they're probably young, so they won't look as these males do. As you can see, they're a lot more buffed. They're bigger than the females, and the horns are bigger, while the females are smaller and have smaller horns. They're fairly easy to tell apart, at least when they, when they hit to an adult stage. And that's the first thing I do. We locate it, we identify what herd it could be. We're going to assume it's this herd. And as you can see here, we have a whole bunch of Himalayan taurs in this area. And what you want to do is, the ones that I have circled, you want to hunt with sort of a balanced attack. You don't want to hit up one herd all the time. So the concept here is that we have 3 days, which equals 1 year. So you got to play for at least, again, nobody really knows, but for me, it almost don't matter because it takes me a very long time to get from one herd to another. Play for about 15 minutes if you want to say so, and you can skip time, which takes you to another day. And you do that 3 times, it will equal a year. Now this is a very in-depth concept because if I want to hit up, all these different herds, then it's going to take me a very long time. It could take me an entire day, as far as the clock is concerned and Way of the Hunter. So there's a lot to do here. A lot of time to be put into this. So we see like our herd here, they're probably on their way to another zone because there's a drinking zone here. So I would assume that that's where they came from. So this is not a concept you want to rush, and you can't rush it. We don't have stars to tell us what's going on, what maturity the animals are at. We're going to have to watch and observe, and this takes time. So that's what you want to do. You want to invest time into stalking each herd and make an informed decision, record it, take photos if you need to, what position or location you found them in, and you want to track that. So we're going to look in here and see what's viable to take down. We got a really nice big male there, so we're going to leave him. Judging his horns, looks pretty good. We can tell this guy here with the gray coat, he's a young male. We're not going to mess with him also, even the guy behind him. So we might be a bit limited in this herd. But again, it's a roll of the dice. So while this guy could be young, the trick is I want to take at least one of these guys out because I need to first see what are we dealing with. Do we have good genetics in here or we don't? And this is a very underrated aspect of Way of the Hunter. Just waiting, being patient. And it's a fantastic thing. Again, if you don't have time, if this is not your thing, then you won't like it. But if you're this type of hunter, this is right up your alley. Because this will take a very long time for you to really observe these herds and have a balanced attack when it comes to taking out bad genetics. Because we have another herd over here, and it's a much bigger herd. So if we're going to take out the one that we're looking at, then we're going to have to move on to another herd like this. And again, you want to have a balanced attack around the map where these animals have their zones. And take your time and go there. So now, depending on the species, this can get very tricky because now I want to be able to take out an animal in the middle of the pack. I don't want to go too young, don't want to go too old. So I got to make a judgment call as to what looks sort of in the middle of the pack. And sort of take him out and see where we're at. This guy seems like an older guy, but I can't be sure. Because the horns are very small. So is that a sign of bad genetics? Compared to this big guy over here? Or is he just young? But if you look at the coat, it seems a bit older. So we can probably take a chance on him. Let's get a gauge for distance here. Okay. 80 to about 100 meters out. So that's the guy we're looking at. And the other two guys seem to have a lot of potential. So we're going to try to take this guy out. If I can catch a break with them here. I want to take a shot at this angle, but if I have to, I will. Got some nice feral goats here. So these guys are probably heading to this drinking zone here, so that should work in our favor. So we're going to be a bit patient here and kind of see what they want to do. Are they going to walk past the zone, or are they going to set themselves up and drink? I just need a nice broadside from this guy. Yeah, this guy's looking good. Nice horns on him. Let me improvise a little bit. Move to the side. So in case he turns, I can take him. We have a lone guy here and he doesn't seem to be anything great. And you can see the difference in size between these two guys. That's a big boy. Could be maybe a 2 or 3 star, who knows. But we're gonna let him live, and the rest, and kind of age them. So the goal is that when you take one out, maybe take 2 from the herd if you can, if you see something viable, and you move on to the next herd. Don't overhunt. Don't overhunt the herd because we're trying to reduce hunting pressure here. We don't want to cause a lot of ruckus. We smoked him. So now this guy is the only guy I was willing to take out from this herd. Everything else felt a little bit risky. If I went too young, I might run into some problems. If I go too old, I might have something like a 3 star. With decent genetics, right? On its way to maybe a 4 or 5 star. I don't know. It's a roll of a dice. But this is the decision you're going to have to make each time you encounter a herd. Do I want to take 1 or 2? Or can I only do 1? Again, we don't have the stars to tell us. We got no help. So you got to make that informed decision. What a beautiful shot. We got a heart, left lung and right lung, 132 meters out. Love it. So we got a 1 star, 67%. We look at the horns. We look at the way he looks. How much did he weigh? 54 kg. Okay. Now, the way he looked in the field, he didn't seem too impressive. Well, you look at his genetics now, and you can say, okay, he's a bit on the upper, just a bit above average. Nothing crazy. So now, because of this, I know that the other guys should be in good standings. So I'm going to leave them. This is a young guy. He shouldn't hurt the rest of the habitat. But we don't want to be taking out too many of these guys above 50. So we'll take him. And that's really what I want to do for each herd. So now that you took out this young guy, you can go and sleep if you want to, and advance the aging process for the other guys in the herd. But because we want to have a nice, well-rounded hunt, we're going to hit up different herds of the same species in the surroundings. Or like a situation here where you encounter feral goats, you can basically, hunt 2 species if you want to. Again, this takes a lot of time, so if you have the time, include 2 or 3 species. If you don't, focus on one, but just hunt in a very well-rounded fashion. And sleep and grow your animal and focus on that. And you're going to see results. It's a roll of the dice, so you never know what you're going to get. So we have a pretty small herd here. So we have like what? So it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got a nice guy here. It doesn't look too big, but his horns are looking nice. Let's get a closer look. So that guy definitely looks great. That guy looks good too. So all the guys in the back looks great. Now we can take a chance on the guy in the front. Now his horns are a little bit curved. You can see a guy there, 2 guys there are pretty young, and those are females. But if we judge overall, the guy in the front here is probably a safer bet compared to the rest, just based on the horns. Yeah, so he looks young. But if I look at the horn compared to the rest there, I can tell maybe I could take a chance on him. I'm not willing to shoot the others because I feel they're in better standings. So let's try this guy. So we check our position. Take note of that. And move on. So the first Himalayan tar we took down, 67 I believe it was, percent. We're gonna leave that herd and let them grow. Because they're that small, I'm not willing to risk hurting that herd anymore. So that herd is off limits for now. I will check on them in a couple of days. So let's see if we made a good decision here. So 192 meters out, we got a left long and a right. Pretty close to the heart there. And we made a very good decision. So we have a nice mature. He's not young. We looked at the horns, and I made the judgment that he's probably safer than the rest. And I was correct. Of course, this would not always happen. He could have been easily above 50. That would have hurt my herd a whole lot more. So now that he's under, not too far from 50, but still, it's a safer bet. He's mature. This is perfect. Right? Take that. So again, you can see the kind of up and down nature of the hunt. of what you're going to be finding. You're going to, some days or some moments, you're going to have a good judgment that you make, and other times you're going to mess it up. But it's a beautiful, beautiful experience being able to judge your herds like this. It slows the game down, allows you to really take a lot of things into consideration. You get a lot more skilled at the game, and it's a whole lot more enjoyable than just jumping around and, you know, looking at a star system and shoot and, you know, all this kind of stuff. You're really engaging with the mechanics of the game. And again, nothing is wrong with the star system. I'm just saying, if you're looking for a different experience, Ranger is for you. And this is what we do here. This is how I hunt, and I love it. Very exciting. And again, this is what you want to do for all of your herds. Hunt in a very balanced fashion. Don't overhunt a certain species or herd. Don't cause a lot of hunting pressure. In turn, this will help you have a nice balanced attack. You can get your genetics all the way up, barring any kind of bad roll of the dice, because you're going to get some genetics that are high that you're going to hit. It is what it is. Even if you use Hunter Sense, you're going to run into the same issue. So let me know in the comments what method you use. If you hunt on Ranger, how do you herd manage? You can share your thoughts and your process. So thank you for watching, and thank you for listening.